Hello bakers and welcome back to episode 7 of the 12 Bakes of Christmas, my festive series taking us up to Christmas with a brand new recipe each day. If you missed yesterday's recipe for our super simple homemade stuffing, then check out the link down below in the description to catch up. But let's see what new recipe we have today. We're serving up a festive twist on the classic frangipane, this time filled with mincemeat to make it oh so Christmassy. Frangipanes are one of my all-time favourite tarts, and if you've never had one before, it is a pastry case filled with often a fruit or a jam and then an almond cake on top. They are super delicious and I couldn't resist making a Christmassy version too. To begin, you want to make your sweet shortcrust pastry by rubbing together 200 grams of flour with 100 grams of butter until it begins to form breadcrumbs. Add in 50 grams of sugar and half a teaspoon of cinnamon, stir it through and then make a well in the middle. Add in 1 egg yolk and a teaspoon of vanilla and then mix through with a few drops of cold water until it forms a soft dough. It's easiest to tip it out of your bowl to help bring it together. Once you're happy with the consistency, wrap it in cling film and chill in the fridge for at least an hour. Lightly flour your surface and then roll out the pastry to half a centimetre thick. Cut out circles and then place them into your tins. I'm making small individual frangipanes. Line the pastry with some baking paper and then fill each case with some baking beans. Pop this into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, remove the beans and then pop them back in for another 10 minutes. Now you may have noticed that I left the pastry hanging over the edges slightly, and this is because when you first bake them sometimes they shrink down slightly and give you uneven edges. So this way, if you leave it until they're baked and then cut it, you get a nice clean finish. Allow your pastries to cool slightly and then cut down with a serrated knife. To make the frangipane cake batter, you'll need to beat together 100 grams of butter and 100 grams of sugar in a bowl until light and fluffy. Add in your 2 eggs and then mix through. Next, you'll want to add in 140 grams of ground almonds and 75 grams of plain flour. Mix until well combined, but be careful not to overbeat it. Otherwise, your frangipanes will come out tough. Place a tablespoon of mincemeat into the bottom of your tins and then smooth out. If you want a simple recipe for homemade mincemeat, then check out the recipe we made in last year's 12 Bakes of Christmas. Next, add in 2 tablespoons of your cake batter and then smooth it over the top. It doesn't rise too much in the oven, so you can fill them right up to the top of the pastry. Bake the frangipanes in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes until they begin to go golden. Now you can serve frangipanes just as they are out of the oven, but it's Christmas and I love to be extra, so we're going to do a quick icing over the top to finish them off. While the frangipanes are cooling, make your icing with 2 ounces of icing sugar and then add lemon juice in until you get a nice drop consistency. Pop into an icing bag and then drizzle over the top. All that's left to do is finish them with a dusting of icing sugar and they're ready to serve. So there you go, another sweet treat for the festive season. If you do try them out, let me know in the comments what you thought, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.